and welcome back to the ACGL Schools League. We are in week number 4 and we're looking to close out the term with a bang. I'm Nairi Mizuki, I'm going to be one of your casters, and I'm joined once again by the wonderful AR Gaming. How are you doing this evening?
Absolutely fantastic. First and foremost, to all my fellow Muslims, Ramadan Mubarak. Hope
Ramadan
the fast
Mubarak.
goes well for all of you guys. I'm gonna be a little bit more chill today. That's a complete lie. You know that's a lie, Sam. But welcome to the final week for term number 1, ladies and gentlemen. If you're wondering what this is, like Naomi said, this is the school leagues every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 182 schools signing up to be in ASL this year, and it's an absolutely massive one with a spot of 32 places to go into the Premier Division. But this time, a massive change. Only one team per school can go into that Premier Division. And Sam, we've seen exactly how much that's affected how these guys actually play through these games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of heartbreak, I think, in that for a lot of our players. But unfortunately, that is just the way that esports in general tends to work itself, right? You have something called a conflict of interest, which can be a problem, you know, and a lot of teams might or a lot of schools rather, might rest on their laurels a little bit and be like, oh, well, we have like 12 teams and we got plenty of chances. We could have like quite a few teams in that final position. But with this change, it means that only one team per school is going to have the opportunity to show just how incredible their school actually is. So they have to pull out all of the stops. And of course, our first game of the evening is going to be Fortnite. And I'll be honest, we've already got one school who is clearly streaks ahead of the rest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the past few weeks have been an absolute bombshell in terms of these guys playing. And from what we actually hear, Broadcast has done something very, very special for all of you guys that we'll get into just a little bit later as well after the first match. But Fortnite action, like Sam said, afterwards we have some Rocket League. Tomorrow we have some Fortnite and Valorant action. And then Thursday will be the final Fortnite for term 1 before we go ahead and start term 2 later in April. Now, this being the 4th year of ASL is an absolute banger. Of course, we have to go ahead and give a massive thanks to the partner, Acer Nitro, who make this all possible. I mean, Sam, for a lot of these kids over here, even in their primary school state right now, it may be like the first stepping stone into esports that they'll ever get.
Absolutely. I mean, grassroots is so incredibly important in general. It's something that is talked about often in the esports landscape all around the world, and people recognize how important it is to consistently foster that young talent and help it to develop, give it spaces to grow and to become exceptional. And that's exactly what ACGL are doing right here with the Schools League. And of course, it's not just ACGL, because all of our schools, all of our parents that are seeing the vision, that are allowing their kids to compete. I know I spoke about this a couple weeks ago, but you know, for a long time there was a lot of stigma around video gaming, and you know, talking about how unhealthy it is, and it can be, much like anything, and too much of anything can be a bad thing. But with the right guidance and with the love and support and care from teachers and from parents, these students have had an opportunity to explore a hobby that they might not have had the chance to really look into previously. And many of them are excelling and doing incredibly well and are moving on to bigger and better opportunities. You know, I've watched some of the finals of schools events last year and seeing how after matric year, so many of those local organizations snapping to try to pick up these kids because they are exceptional.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we see it right here in front of us, and this is also the starting point for any organizations to go ahead and look out if they need new players. I mean, we see orgs all the time try to create new teams, better teams, evolving for their own esports competitiveness. This is where you look. This is the future of esports, the megastars in the making that I keep on mentioning. And it's such an honor to actually be a part of all of this. And for the 4th year of ASL as well, of course, all of this going to culminate into that big LAN at the end of July this year at UCT AGC. We had a fantastic one last year. It was absolutely incredible. The show out was insane. All of these kids being able to meet those who influence them to play these games, to go ahead and do their best, get into esports, and then at the same time, those influencers being able to go ahead and meet who they've influenced, who they are the heroes for. It's an absolutely incredible sight to witness, and we can't wait for AGC again this year. But Fortnite action, Sam. You mentioned the top of the food chain right now being some of these teams, some of these schools. Do we think we're going to see any changes over here, or do we think the domination will continue within this week?
So in terms of the top one, right, our currently king of the hill school, which is of course Belarus, they are in that lead, but it's not like this crazy runaway lead that teams can't catch up to. In fact, our teams in second and third place, which are Edgemead and Glenwood, they are both close enough that a win with decent point score or kill score, as well as shutting down Polrus early in a lobby. Now, I'm talking challenge them off spawn, get them out of the lobby, and then make sure that you can rack up extra kills and get a win. You're in first place. So it really is that close. But I've made it sound a whole lot simpler than what it will likely be, because these three teams are in the top for a reason. Knocking them off of those podiums, each one individually, is going to be a very, very tough ask. And then as you head down into our fourth position, the gap is quite big. It's about a 60-point gap between third and fourth. So I think that our top three runaway schools might not change too much over the course of the last 3 days. And it's really just going to be a scrap as to who's going to come out on top, and more importantly, who is going to scrape in by the skin of their teeth into that top 32. Because of course, the competition is also quite fierce towards the bottom of the ladder.
Oh, I'm excited for this. The final week, these guys know what's on the line for this. And, Tuesdays are fairly smaller lobbies for us. The school and things like that do get in the way just a little bit. And I got to do your homework for the week and stuff. So only 10 teams within this. And it seems like a lot of them have that same idea of the newer areas. We saw in the past week, these places don't get too occupied. The players only tend to go for those brand new vaults, and even more importantly, that brand new boss that goes ahead and drops that mythic mammoth pistol, the 2-shot ultimate weapon that you can ever get in any game. 175 headshot if you can go ahead and land it. And on top of that, you can get that same damage with a purple one or a gold one or even a green one. But the mythic one has a second shot within it. Why is that so important? Because you're using the mammoth pistol for poke damage. You're using it to go ahead, put pressure on your opponents, rush at them. But if you can go ahead and use that second shot to not only get one person low on HP, but also a second one out of a trio, you're golden. You're pushing immediately with a massive advantage. As we see Julian over here buy one of these vaults in Crime City. We'll go ahead and open it, and it does go ahead and spawn that little mini event of the AI spawning. So could draw in any nearby players, but they seem to be alone over in Crime City for now.
Yeah, I found it interesting because we had a couple of teams. We had a large, amount of teams dropping down towards the east. Very few. I think there were only about 3 teams that went really far towards the they all dropped west. Very few went towards the east and kind of the northeastern sections. So we've got a handful of teams that have got a lot of space to work with and that aren't going to be challenged too early on. Whereas we've got a few teams that could find themselves in a bit of a tight spot early. That being said, will have noticed the lobby is relatively small at the moment. So these teams are actually putting themselves in a great opportunity to farm up points early before the lobbies get a little bit more chaotic later on.
Yeah, as we know, it is kills and placements that will feed into these points for these teams. And once we get into term 2, the seedings will begin. Of course, term 2 going to be a massive 8 weeks, so these guys are sure to be excited for that as well. But we break into the vault, we get the chests that's over there, those dull bits as well that we've seen get used in the black markets, where you can get even more mythics, even more loot. But even though it's a smaller lobby, it doesn't stop these guys from performing their best. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, Sam, we saw a smaller lobby like this, I think around maybe 12 teams or so, and we saw a 20 bomb come out of a team as well, placing themselves on the top of that leaderboard. So these guys are going to give us a show no matter what. As we move over to Chisel, a name that we've seen over the past couple of weeks, taking a few shots with that Hollow Twister Assault Rifle. Of course, the hit scan being so powerful on this weapon, especially with that holographic sight in it. Spots them out in the distance, looks to get a few shots, but just to get behind the heavy construction vehicles. And they will go ahead and be safe over in that distance. Coates and Chisel, only a duo in this lobby, will have to play their numbers very effectively.
Quite a fortuitous that they managed to find that weapon so very early on, which allows them to get into engagements and have a little bit more potential staying power. But it looks like the team that they were firing on, it's Mochi, Marshmallow, and Tyboss, they've actually opted to retreat, not take that fight unnecessarily. They don't know that it's only two people, or presumably they don't know. So instead of taking unnecessary battles, rather just back out, live to fight another day. Again, there's so much space to work with here for our teams, and taking early fights isn't necessarily the smartest play to make. You want to rather give a bit of space, get some rotations in, farm up those resources so that when you do end up in those engagements, you've got a whole lot more to work with, and crucially, more of a survivability chance.
And speaking of resources, Immortal and the rest of the squad now slowly pushing up towards this this black market underground. A lot of birds over here, so they are going to be taking it very cautiously. They want to take that rail zip line in immediately, get trapped in a situation. Immortal, of course, having that baseball bat that was decently added. You know, there's been a couple of things online that have showcased the power of this baseball bat and the combos you can sort of do. Not a lot of people knew this when the game first updated. You can actually go ahead and launch your teammates with a fully charged alternate fire of the baseball bat, as Zany now spots one out, gets the shotgun, gets the beam, and that is going to be Julian. That is the team that just went ahead and opened that vault, made that slow rotation. Zany getting the quick elimination, and these guys surefire knew that there was going to be a team over here. I mean, the map showcases if a vault is getting targeted or not, and Egghead right now trying to get the final shots on it, does get the final shots, and there's going to be some good purple loot for this team, and they are by that black market, and that is the first team taken down as well.
Yeah, you see, that's kind of the downside to being one of the first teams to go ahead and try to contest something valuable and precious early on, because as soon as other teams realize that it's happening, as soon as they have an inkling that they could potentially get some sort of an advantage here, they're going to come in and try to take that down, especially if you think that, you know, maybe you think you're a bit safe because fewer teams and people aren't going to want to take engagements early on, and now you've kitted yourself out so much. Surely no team is going to try to push this, but, you know, sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit. That's exactly what gets done there and pays off beautifully. And as you said, right, first squad taken off of the board here. So a lot more room to breathe for our other teams. But that's going to be one team with that all-important KP, going to help them build up a little bit and get themselves working up that ladder.
I think when the map opened, I saw a name that I absolutely loved because it oozes so much confidence. I think there was a name that says Week 4 Winners, which I absolutely love that. Yeah, I see it there on the left. Week 4 Winners. That's oozing confidence right there. You know, maybe trying to go ahead and manifest a win over here for this final week again. This being the final week of Term 1, quite a lengthy gap in between the end of this week and then the beginning of Term 2. So these guys are going to go, they are going to have a bunch of updates to learn over that course of time. Maybe even some major updates that bring in a complete new meta. For now, the metas have changed so much to the point where you don't even really need a shotgun anymore. I mean, you go back to previous seasons, previous chapters even, you'll always need a shotgun to get that immediate pump damage, and then switch to a spray weapon, switch to a pistol, an assault rifle, whatever it may be, to go ahead and finalize that elimination. We don't even need shotguns this season anymore. The Mammoth pistol is so powerful. If you get your hands on it, you can go ahead and carry 2 Mammoth pistols and utilize sort of a double pump aspect of that gun in a close range and even in a far range as well. It's so versatile that it's a must-have weapon. And speaking of must-have weapons, maybe these guys have that weapon in hand as we switch over to Week 4 Winners, the aforementioned one themselves, as they are going to pop that big pot, spotting out the builds very close by. And Sunny, okay, Sam, I will say this. In the past week, Sunny has had the same strat the entire time, and that is get that mythic assault rifle in the inventory again of Sunny, but gets lit up nonetheless over there.
Yeah, loses all of that shielding and has to back away, rely on his teammates to give a little bit of suppressive fire here. Joshi taking a little bit more of an advanced position, takes a ton of damage, but is able to build up, get himself healed up, and instantly re-engaging with the rest of the team. However, the team that they're fighting has pushed up and is trying to engage directly on top of him. They are managing to break down a lot of these builds, though, and have put their enemies on the back foot. As I say that, week 4 winners, however, will get dropped down. So gonna have to rely on the rest of the team to get him back up while still maintaining that semblance of safety and smelling blood in the water. Those opponents now looking to push in on this, looking to take advantage, not able to get him back up, and unfortunately they do get collapsed in on, not to survive even a moment longer, and it's Zanny and co who will get those KP and knock out yet another team.
Yeah, extra KP as well. Not only did they take out the first team, they go ahead and take out the second one as well. We're down to 8 squads left, 21 players left alive, and still a very, very big zone to work with. Anyone can be anywhere on the map right now. We do see the spawn locations of the armored vehicles as well. Those go ahead, they drop a bunch of gold, a bunch of loot, and that very, very underrated mythic suppressed pistol does a ton of damage. 12 bullets in it is sort of the downside for it. It is a pistol after all, but it does pack a big, big punch. As we move over to some more names that we've seen before, Rockerblade sitting with that org. Only 8 bullets in it, however. We'll have to find some ammo very, very soon. I mean, you got to have your materials prepped for these end games. You got to have good enough ammo for the rest of these games, and these guys will have to go ahead and farm up. But doing fairly decent on materials, only around 70 to 80. Will farm up on the way, but they are going to rotate very, very quickly around the edge of where the storm is going to be. Not taking any early engagements over here. We say early, it is going to be quite early game for a long time, especially with the amount of players that we have.
Well, yes and no. I've found that sometimes these games actually go a lot quicker because teams, you have these kind of earlier engagements and the numbers start to drop off, and teams are like, you know what? Let's just get this done. And then you get down to like 3 or 4 teams, and people are like, I'm not going to sit around waiting for the circle to get smaller, so let's just get this over with. And, well, as I say that, we already have yet another engagement happening here. Teams not really looking to back away, not really to give up that space. Suppressive fire comes down. Loki has been knocked. Airwolf to follow. Now Invoice Crib, the last one left standing to try to keep his team alive in this, but with so little HP, and unfortunately cannot survive even a moment longer. Another team. That's 3 teams that have already been knocked out, and we are still very, very early on.
Yeah, and the Sub-Zero Mythic actually playing into effect over there from Mochi. We saw a little bit of punching going on. Lovely Mortal Kombat collab that has been added. What collabs are going to come next to Fortnite? I mean, you never expect any of these, and they just pull it out of nowhere. We got Mortal Kombat in Fortnite now. You absolutely love to see it. And, decent guns over here. The rarities could go ahead and, you're always looking for that upgrade. But even so, these guns are perfect the way that they are. We've got the pump shotgun, the Sentinel pump. We've got the hollow twister. The only thing that I would add to that inventory is that sought after mammoth pistol, or maybe even that new sniper, the Falcon Eye sniper. It does go ahead and have that massive bullet drop, and you really have to lead your target and know where you're aiming, but it still does a ton of damage. And if you do have those dilbits that we saw earlier on, the teams get from the vaults and such, you can go ahead to a specific black market and get a mythic one, as Shadow just hitting the little gritty over here, enjoying that golden gun in the inventory, celebrating just a little bit. But the island is about to spawn, and hopefully the bug for the island is fixed. The boss sometimes did not used to spawn on the island, meaning that there was 1 lacking mythic and 1 lacking medallion.
I'm going to say something potentially controversial. Some of these cosmetics are pure nightmare fuel. Pure nightmare fuel.
POV, skibbity toilet.
Brother, it's terrifying. Much like being shot in the back before you even realize what has happened. Immortal getting 1 here. Now they are dropping in onto the rest of this team, trying to get them down, but up in the sky, flying away. They're not going to allow their entire team to be taken out so unceremoniously. But, the hunt is on.
I think that Immortal actually cracked that play as well. There was a bunch of hit markers. It is very, very tough to see when we're spectating like this, but there is a tiny, tiny little red X over the crosshair that shows if a teammate or opponent, I should say, is getting shot at. And Immortal did get a lot of hit markers over there as well. So I'm pretty sure that player is cracked, which is why they are so hungry for blood right now. And I mean, look at their kills right now. They're sitting on 10. They want more KP. They're using this non-filled lobbies, these empty lobbies, to go ahead and push their points all the way up top. They want it badly because this is the final week of Term 1. You want to go out with a bang at the end of this week, so they are going to give it their all. 6 teams left, 14 players left alive.
And are still, trying to play for that first div spot. And it's tough because if you go and look at the leaderboard, because there are quite a few schools with, a large number of teams, to try to work out exactly where you would place in terms of the 32 going to first div, it would take a lot of time and effort. And I'll be honest, I think a lot of these guys couldn't be bothered. I respect, well, no, maybe not respect, but I get it. I feel that. So you want to try to make sure that you can just farm up as many points as possible just to be on the safe side.
Rockerblade does have that very, very nice scanner in the inventory as the org shots come through from about 100 meters away, tracking one player. And Prince right now a little bit closer. Gonna go ahead, spray down with that hollow twister. The bull's moving a bit too quick, though. Dex with that org as well, just firing down. Glad to see that they have found some ammo for those orgs. And still going ahead, breaking down these builds. Of course, the team down low gonna feel extremely pressured right now. Wasting mats, burning mats, but Rocker gets burned through, immediately taken down. Just like that, the healing mist goes out. It is going to go ahead and provide some sort of cover, at least visual cover, I should say, as Rocker goes ahead and gets revived. The double is going off, and that team down low, they might want to go ahead and push this right now as another smoke bomb goes out. You can see the cones being built ever so quickly. The team slowly trying to take space, and you see them peeking, right-hand peeks, as the beam's now on the wall. And that is a hollow twister AR. That is a collateral assault rifle as well. And another player, the shotgun shots go off. Dex now up top in the bull battle. Gonna pull out that shotgun, looking for an opportunity. Gets a shot, actually misses it, but gets hit very, very hard. Prince down to 32 HP, gets taken down. And the fish stick skin is gonna go ahead and confirm you like a fish out of water. Rockerblade now 100 HP, but no shields. Baseball bat in hand, looking to move it around ever so quickly. Dex 1 HP and a dream as we see Blade move up, looking for maybe the advantage with that baseball bat, but fortunately, that's going to be Dex down as well. It's all up to Rockerblade. In this situation, you can try to fight it out if you want to, but running would be the better option as the baseball bat comes out, does some damage. I think hit for 90 over there, but unfortunately gets taken out. And Immortal now and the rest of the squad sitting very, very comfortably on their eliminations, on their KP. I mean, they've taken down so many squads in this situation. And I do believe that Egghead is the only one that went down of their team. They will go ahead and get that reboot very, very soon.
I mean, Immortal is absolutely farming this lobby at the moment. Just cannot be stopped. And unfortunately, there wasn't a way to escape there, right? Already built in. There was to attempt to run away, it would have ended exactly the same way, unfortunately. So, bit of a rough situation. I will say that I'm a little disappointed at how few of our teams actually do disengage. It's so early. There's so much space to work with. And to, keep taking these fights, it does seem like a bit of a misplay of sorts. And now we check back in with Chisel and Coates, and we kind of noted them quite a bit earlier on. These two players, they found themselves a high ground spot, built up a small little fortification for themselves, and have just kind of hunkered down. And they've gotten themselves into, the top half of this lobby. So, and the problem is that they haven't come up against any sort of resistance. So they'll get placement points, but they're not going to get any of that KP unless they can kind of find themselves in some sort of an engagement relatively soon. Now, obviously, placement points are massive, particularly if you can get yourselves all the way up into that top 3. But with teams now circling the water, and you can actually see how many players are very close to this position, it's going to make that much more difficult to actually get a good placing.
And the zone now obviously sticking half in the storm and half in safety. And damn, in the first, or the second week, I should say, not the first week. The second week, we went ahead and saw how cruel these zones were. How bad do we think it's going to be for the end of term 1?
Well, you know what? Given how it's looking right now, it's not going to be that bad. You know, they're going to be inland. They're going to have quite a bit of space to work with. Okay, it could get a little bit treacherous if we're close to like the hills and the mountains. But I think overall, this is a lot better than what we saw a couple weeks ago. You know, with the circle moving out onto the water, giving you like half a sliver of a piece of land to walk on, people swimming around like dolphins trying to find some space. It was not great. It was not great. So
I mean, that could just be a vision of the Atlantis collab coming soon. Not confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. As we move over to Thai Boss, again, names that we've seen before, Thai Boss, Mochi, and Matchmello. 1 kill apiece right now, as they are not fooled by the little cone tactic, and they immediately get Shadow taken out. Shadow was the solo that we saw earlier on, maybe still waiting for the teammate to come in for the second match, but that is going to be another team down, as the zone is going to move towards Black Market. 4 squads left alive within this 11 players. And trying to spot out that player on the hill. Going to try to get a few beams. That is going to be the builds over there. If I'm not mistaken, that is our duo up top the mountain. Yes, it is. It is 2 a.m. and Chisel. And what's strange enough is that they're pushing. And of course, you mentioned about disengaging a little bit early on. The thing that makes it so difficult to disengage from a fight right now is that there's only 2 forms of mobility. And one of them isn't actually even a form of mobility. The baseball bat is mainly used to get that close range damage, that meme fall damage kills. The shockwaves being the only mobility that's in the game right now, and even that is a little tough to find, as that wall on the empty remains of that base will get broken. Not knowing where they've rotated to is the thing, and they will push up closer by. On the bottom of the hill, though, is where that duo has moved to, and up. John Cena's back in the lobby, Sam.
Yes, he is. John Cena, he lives in our minds rent-free and completely invisible. But there you go, the floating gun. Man, it just looks so ridiculous, man. Like, I can't. And now we've got John Cena, the lightning cloud, you know, like... It's just pure chaos. But with 4 squads left alive here, you know, this little squad of 2 has actually managed to do quite well for themselves so far. And there's a possibility here of KP if they can get a nice little third party in, as 3 of our squads are kind of angling dangerously close to one another. It looks like there might even already be some kind of early pot shots being thrown out just to try and whittle away those resources, force builds, force them to have to regen shield or whatever the case, to make sure that in that final confrontation your team has the upper hand. We'll see how many of these teams can take full advantage of that. And again, they're kind of quite spread from one another and using a lot of those resources, as mentioned, to try to create more of the sightline denial.
Yeah, and Zany and the rest of the squad pulling the luck of the draw over their zone right by them, but so is every other team, and we even see that medallion over on the map. Smart play from them to go ahead and leave that medallion behind. Of course, the medallion shows off where you are on the map, and I mean, while it's useful to go ahead and sprint a little bit faster, it's not going to do you much good in the end game like this. Chisel now going to farm up a little bit more materials and build up securely, maybe drop down if need be, but 50 seconds left. The storm is going to be dealing 8 damage per second right now, as it is going ahead and it is moving. There's a little scanner over on that roof that could be utilized to find out where everyone is, but at this point I think you just got to go ahead and use your eyes, as Chisel goes ahead, spots one, actually tags one over there with the hollow twister assault rifle. 2 a.m. now with that AUG also in hand. Low on ammo, though. I will say that both of them are low on ammunition. We'll have to go ahead and manage those resources, as Chisel gets shot at from the hills, taken down to 11 shield over there. And we move over to Jaith and the rest of the squad. They are watching from the heavens, seeing the builds go through, and they have enough heals to go ahead and play this out if need be, but they do have to watch their backs over here. Someone can very, very easily go ahead and rotate them.
Just helping out with some people that want to join in the chaos at some point, but we'll focus in here because things are getting very chaotic, and as mentioned, the zone continues to be a thorn in their sides, and they don't have a lot of space to move here. In fact, any attempt to reposition will likely put them in a very, very dangerous spot. So crouching their way around, using that cover as much as possible, trying to find a way to relocate before that zone starts to force them out of position, force them into uncomfortability. And nice little usage of the high ground here. Going to try to catch out some of those players rotating around if they can. Nobody really willing to show themselves out of position, but pot shots do come through here. Now finally teams are going to have to engage in on one another. We're going to start building up, building towards that next zone, building to some sort of freedom, some viability into that top 3 position. Only 10 players left alive in these 4 squads, which means that quite a couple of our squads won't be full at all. Very little to work with here, and those resources keep continuing to be burnt into.
Yeah, and Jalen actually went ahead and picked up that medallion that we talked about earlier on. Now has the faster mobility, can actually sprint into opposing players and knock them back, deal some damage to them. Could prove very, very vital if the high ground needs to be taken. Move over to Zany. Go with that golden weapon. Immortal has that mythic collateral assault rifle that we saw Sunny get earlier on. The bull's coming through now, looking to spot out the little tootsies, the feet of the opponent, at least get a few shots in, break the shields. They will now have to move. There is a team on ultimate high ground building cones as well. The zone shrinking very quickly. Zany gets hit very, very hard from up above, down to 14 HP. Bulls now going out, trying to stay alive for a little bit longer. The wall's getting shot at, however. Gonna go ahead and join up these boxes with Immortal. Try to edit their way through. They do not want to get touched by the storm whatsoever. It is going to do 10 damage per second. Zany cannot afford for that to happen. Tybos up top now. Gets the shotgun shot out, but also gets hit very, very hard. 46 HP left. Gonna go ahead, pop those minis. Mochi now breaking through the walls. Gets pump shotgunned and gets knocked in that situation as the window gets edited. Down to 8 players left. Still our 4 teams. Make that 7 players. Tybos in the storm does not want to stay there, however. Jalen trying to take the high ground, but someone already has it. Drops in the box, unfortunately. Jalen gets hit very, very hard. Pulls that ramp out, needs to reload the shotgun, but still goes ahead and takes out Immortal. We're down to our top 2 teams. It's a 2v1, but actually one is knocked. It's a 1v1 right now. 2 a.m. against Jalen. The shotgun shots come out. Wall running up that box, building on height. Gonna go ahead and reload. 70 bullets on that org. Faith bleeds out. Jalen's the last one left alive. Drops down, but does not get the waterfall of the ramps and gets taken down to gravity. No. And that's going to be 2 a.m. The duo go ahead and win our first match for today.
Oh, what a way for it to end. That's so heartbreaking, bro. I can't believe that they managed to survive all the way to the end. Not only that, but they actually win the entire lobby, and they walk out with a little bit of KP on top of that as well. I mean, what an outstanding performance. Okay, Immortal still the one that topped our lobby in terms of KP, and that'll go a long way, plus with their placement points as well. That's quite a lot of points that they've managed to put in their back pocket. But such an impressive performance from our duo that had just been sitting for the longest time, just chilling on top of a hill, watching the world float by. And even when it was down to 4 squads, the building war of attrition that was going on, trying to just deny some of those sight lines, trying to block as many of the bullets as possible, and whittles it down all the way to the end. I will say, there's something unsatisfactory, I feel like, for that final kill to have been full damage, and you probably got Coates going, you know what, I'll take it. But you know, not the blaze of glory, I suppose, that he'd been hoping for.
I mean, that end zones lasted longer than I thought it would. I mean, with the 4 squads that were left alive, it went a long way. We went to zone number 11 over there at the end, and all that it takes is that high ground, and unfortunately running out of mats, not being able to go ahead and waterfall down to safety and play that low ground angles. And that's why we keep on saying materials are so important for that end game. If you're sitting in zone number 8 and you only have like 18 builds, you're doing it wrong. You need to go ahead and farm some materials before that. But that was our first of 2 games of Fortnite. Then we even have some Rocket League later on. This is ASL. We will go ahead and take a small intermission, and then when we come back, we'll have a little something for all of you guys to actually witness. So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after the short intermission.
My name is Mnoto, and I go to a school called Thomas More College in Hillcrest, Durban. I play Rocket League. Yeah, Rocket League is my favorite game.
Thomas Moore doing it, and Mnoto coming off the seating.
We placed third, unfortunately, in the schools league, and today we did not win a single game. I found it amazing. It was very hard, yes, in general, but yeah, that's what comes with competitiveness. No, this is in fact my first time being in person with friends, with teammates, and yeah, it's been an amazing experience. How did we prep? So we prepped by scrimming a lot, a week before our tournament, scrimming all the teams that were going to be here, and we also did just sessions with our coach. Yes. I experienced playing in front of a crowd for the first time, all the nerve, all the pressure on top of you, and how you can really play differently at home and in front of people. Yeah. My highlights was probably meeting all the pros, Snowy, To Die For, Cams, Ram, Mr. Low. Yeah, that was definitely my highlights. My hopes are to stop playing RLCS, maybe make top 8 and really make a name for myself, so yeah.
We're at Weinberg Boys for the first school event of 2025. We saw a massive increase in participating schools and students in 2024. This year, we're only planning on going up. One of our goals this year is accessibility. And we'll be looking at fine-tuning our lands to make them more accessible, and also looking at more avenues where we can have underprivileged schools without equipment being able to compete. We also have some really nice educational features coming onto the website, but for now, it's a secret. Like every year, the website has gone through some changes to make it a bit more efficient to play your games, but you'll have a detailed video on that soon. We're excited to be back. I hope you're ready for a new era of school gaming.
Hi, my name is Zander Estreisen.
My naam is Christian.
My name is Richard André.
We are from Gauteng, Johannesburg, Hoërskool Die Anker.
The games are definitely challenging. We have a lot of different players with different skills. They are very good. Some of them are poor at the game, but it's very challenging. I say it's hard, difficult.
Van hulle was lekker, van hulle was moeilik. Daar was baie kompetisie. Daar was verskillende spelers, van die spelers was baie goed. Ek het dit geniet, dit was lekker.
Yes, it was extremely fun. Very grateful for the opportunity we had. It was very intense, and there was certainly a lot of competition. But yeah, it was just amazing. Yes, this is our first LAN experience ever, so we are extremely grateful for the opportunity.
Yes, this is me and my team's first LAN experience ever, and it's quite different, very different. A lot of people around us can hear what they are communicating to the teammates, and it's definitely more pressure than at home. We're comfortable.
Ja, dit is my eerste LAN experience. Dit is baie anderste, baie groter. Ek het dit nie verwag nie. Die mense is nice, almal.
You can feel the environment. I mean, the people are very nice in it, but you can feel it's not the same at home, like on your own setup. Everything just feels like different, but it was good.
Ons het saam in creative geoefen, ons het Zone Wars teen mekaar gespeel. Ek en my span het in 'n trios gaming gegaan. Ons het ons strats uitgewerk en ja.
We at home we play together a lot, creative mode, public games against other people, just making sure we know what we have to do as a team.
I definitely did do some mentality stuff that motivated myself, and that's how I played.
Yes, we definitely gained a lot of experience from this, and next time when we come back, we will be better than ever and hopefully grab that first place trophy.
Ons het baie goeters geleer om saam te speel, nuwe strats, wat waar om te land. Dit was baie lekker. Ons het dit geniet, ja.
Yes, I learned that I doubted my opponents. I thought that I was this guy placing first, but no. Yeah, I learned that I should not be cocky, lower my ego, and definitely train harder, play more. Highlight was definitely coming third place in the nationals and celebrating it at home.
The highlight, I would say, is just meeting a lot of new people and all of the commentators and just having a great time with everyone.
Dat ons derde kon gekom het in die ASL.
My hopes for AGC 25 is to see a lot more people joining the community, to meet new people.
ASL, the place where mega stars of the future are made. The future of esports right in front of us, and we're continuing with the final week of Term 1. I'm AR, as always, joined by the fantastic Naori Mizuki. We just got done with our first of 2 matches of Fortnite, and then we even have some Rocket League coming up later. Sam, what did you think of that first match, and what do you think of the future of the esports leagues that we see right now?
I must admit, I was really impressed that the game actually went on as long as it did. Very often in these smaller lobbies, they can end a lot faster. People want to like W key a lot more, and it tends to be a lot more chaotic. But this one, it really did kind of go the distance, and it was a team that had been kind of chilling out for most of the match, that ended up winning the whole darn thing. So very, very cool to see from them. And you talk about the future of our esports scene, and I just want to take this moment to remind everyone that, I mean, your future can start right now. Well, maybe not right now, but very, very soon. Because while Term 1 is coming to an end, a reminder, you can still sign up for Term 2. So make sure that you go to schools.acgl.gg and you can find out exactly how to get your school involved. Remember, this is the schools league. You must be in a school, and then you will participate as a school under your school's banner for the glory of your school, but of course for your own glory as well, because this is your own personal path to pro, potentially.
Man, it's so cool. I mean, last year, some schools even went ahead and made custom little jackets and stuff for their esports team, ripping their names on the back and what they played. It's absolutely incredible. But we just got done, like I said, with the first of 2 games. And then, of course, you'll still stick around with Sam for Rocket League later. But Sam, this is what I was talking about a little earlier. Broadcast has managed to go ahead and get us a leaderboard scene of the games that we just went ahead. And I must say, it looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to have a 15-point scoreline, 11-point lead so early on, absolutely fantastic. And for those that aren't aware, that top team, that school that dominated that lobby with only 2 players in their squad, that was the Anker, and we have seen them in previous days, in previous weeks. Maybe not necessarily this exact roster, but other rosters under the school's banner that have performed very, very well. And this particular team of the Ankers are currently sitting at 8th position overall on the leaderboard. So this is a school that is performing very, very well and really taking that shot for the top. But now let's hop on the airship, on the Airbus, and head on over into our second match of the evening. And already players begin to scatter themselves to the winds, looking for that early loot early positioning and early opportunities.
And glad to see that it's a slightly bigger lobby as well. 14 teams this time within this lobby, and still a bunch of them heading over to those new POIs, Shiny Shafts, Outlaw Oasis, and Crime City. No one really opting for Lone Wolf Lair at this point. Everyone want to be close to that black market, but Bloodgate actually has 2 teams contesting it. It does have decent loot. It does have a good amount of materials around it, and you can kind of rotate around anywhere that you want to, as we see the early shots coming out of Raptor. That slurp truck right behind to go ahead and get that full shield immediately. Sloan, Sniper, Reggie, and Raptor, names again that we've seen before. And like Sam said, for Term 2, please go ahead and sign up at scores.acgl.gg, because we'd love to see your names within ASL, whether it be for Fortnite, Rocket League, Valorant, whatever it may be. We want to see you take part in it. Reggie, unfortunately, gets taken down and will have to get revived and is down in a little safe area. So, actually, maybe scratch that. There's a guy right there.
Yeah, safe is relative, man. And unfortunately, he is not in relative safety. Now the rest of his team gonna try to return fire. And yes, a beautiful knockdown onto Immortal. Reminder, that was our top KP scorer in the previous match. So taking him offline could be a massive boon. And looking to full-on bloodlust this, not just a knock, but actually taking him off the board entirely. But Sloan, unfortunately, trying to replicate that same little bit of results, unfortunately, does get taken down. So now Raptor is the last one left alive on his team, and in a potential 1 versus 2 here, he's got 2 options. Does he try to push this, try to take that control and get his teammates up, or does he get the hell out of Dodge? And, oh, at the moment, it looks like he's not entirely sure what he wants to do.
I mean, there is that launch pad to go ahead and get out. Maybe trying to get the hero play over here, but that's not going to go too well over there. Should have taken that, and it is going to be Zany and the rest of the squad. These guys did have, I think it was a 12-kill game in that last one with a 3rd place, if I'm not mistaken. So they get that early kills as well. Down to 12 teams already. Another team getting taken out in that entire debacle over there. And still a fairly good spread up north. We do see 2 teams that will inevitably approach each other, one actually heading towards the other one. Seaport City home to a team as well, but we are going to move all the way down south, and surprisingly there is a team over on the beach right now, just, enjoying a nice long walk, maybe waiting for the sunset to make it even better. A little bit up the hill, though, it is going to be Potty, Boxing, Zeus, and Ocean that they are going to be farming. It's a good little forest to get your materials up. Like we said, materials are so important towards the end game, and not even just the end game. In any situation that you might come across in, you will go ahead and need those materials. So farming up, it is going to be the play over here. Lean, however, needs to get those materials up. Only 6 bulls to the name right now.
And so just a quick point of clarification on our scoreboard from earlier. So that wasn't the full scoreboard, since we got a little bit of a lull in the action right now. That was literally the kill leaderboard. So they didn't include position points, so a little bit of confusion there. But at the end of this match, a little bit later on, we should have a proper scoreboard update for you guys, so we can get you the full-on accurate information, as it were. But a team with 15 KP in that last match that only had 10 teams, very impressive performance. And it looks like Immortal and Squad are looking to replicate that, as already, as we saw, kicking things off with taking down an enemy squad and getting all of the loot off the back of that. So now we'll jump on over to one of our other teams, and we saw these guys earlier in the previous lobby looking to get maybe some better results this time around.
Building up immediately as they spot out the opponents over there. The beam coming through right now with the collateral assault rifle, dealing a lot of damage. One pushes through on that zip line, however. On the railway, I should say, but still a lot of damage output over there. It is going to be Julian getting taken down by Prince very, very quickly. We did see that a scan went off, the pulse scan. It did go ahead and mark a little bit of the area, but these guys managed to stay out of that radius barely, and they got the jump on at least one of them. They are going to be pushing out now just to go ahead and loot up. And actually, that is a confirm on the entire team, as there are some more kills going on in the kill feed. People are playing a little bit more for KP right now. They'll have to when this is a slightly bigger lobby than what we had. Over down by Crime City, that is going to be red team moving away from it. Most likely looted that vault. Still a team by Floodgate. And there is still those teams down southeast by Port City. So fairly big spread between these teams right now. They are obviously still very, very early on. This is the point in time where you go ahead, you try to get those mythics, you try to get the best weaponry that you can, and you try to, most importantly, go ahead and find some sort of mobility. I mean, Sam, we saw in that last game, mobility kind of proved a little bit on the downside for some players. They couldn't move effectively with that baseball bat. They will have to try to find any sort of shockwaves to go ahead and make a play. We even see some jump pads in people's inventories. And there's actually the armored vehicle that's going to get challenged right now by Airwolf and the rest of the squad.
And it looks like they're going to take control. A nice little opener there for them. Now, there is some potential here for a bit of pushback. We'll see if anything does actually come from that. But for the moment, it looks like they should be home free and clear. So I'm going to be feeling good about that. Interestingly, already 3 teams have been knocked out. So quite an impressive start to this. Valerian, how are you still alive? How have you managed to survive for so long with nobody firing in at you? But he is under a bit of fire here, trying to escape from it. And looks like he's going to be able to. That's weird.
That's impressive.
I don't know. I mean, it's the bad kind of impressive, right? Like, how did you guys miss that?
I mean, it's also a good kind of impressive for Balerian over there. Like, literally just stood silent while the armored vehicle was right next to them. And that armored vehicle is going to be pulling back towards that area. So they have not taken it out yet. There's still a bunch of loot and a mythic to go ahead and get from that. But Lean now getting shot at heavily. He's going to pop that minis. But on the other side, Boxing's going to get taken down, and Ocean's going to get taken down as well. It's Sunny and Week 4 winners that are going to be getting these elims. The confirms on it as well. Joshy Monkey will go ahead, confirm Ocean, and now trying to run away is Lean. Very, very low on that HP. Will try to get away, but unfortunately in that situation gets taken out, and that's why the spectating over there switched to someone completely different. Week 4 did go ahead and take out the final player, but a bunch of other players on this mountain right now that will go ahead and engage with each other. I mean, Clicks right now is approaching a team down low, actually spots one out by the riverside and starts firing at another one over on the left side. Baseball bat in hand means that that player is going to be going ahead and moving a little bit quicker. Sniper King gets shot out from the right. Clicks landing again after a little bit of a launch. Hollow Twister in hand will go ahead and fire. Sniper King trying to fire back at the player that went ahead and cracked that shield, but unfortunately getting hit more than anything. That Slurp Sprite's going to heal up just a little bit. But still a situation over here where you are going to get third-partied by red team pushing you from behind.
I'm amazed that Sniper King survived that long with all of the gaps in the building, but somehow managed to survive for incredibly long. Unfortunately, now knocked down. DTA is the last one, or Click's last one left alive here. Heavily under fire from multiple directions. Jeez, that really was a bit of a firing squad, but that is yet another team offline. How is this lobby so much more ridiculous than our previous one? To have this many squads down this early on? What is that? 7 squads that have already been eliminated, and we're so early in the round or in the match. This is quite chaotic.
They've locked in, they've got their warm-up from that first game, and now they're pushing forth. I mean, look at Week 4 trying now to go ahead and get that high ground so effectively. The quick builds coming out of this team, and that's the impressive thing about it. This is on around 160 to 180 ping, and these guys are building this quickly, and the shots coming through the little gap from Week 4 over there, utilizing that little gap in the builds, and they will go ahead now and get out another team, and they will go ahead and pick up those dill bits as well. They could go ahead and move to one of those black markets, but another team close by, they can further their KP right now as it does get spotted out. And now we get to see the thermite in action for use against builds. Zany throwing a thermite out at a box, but getting beamed from above also. Will have to go ahead and heal up.
Yeah, a lot of like crossfires and potentials for third parties here. People getting themselves into a really good position to be able to fire back. Now, but see, this leans into what I was saying before. This is a perfect time to disengage, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to try to do here. They are getting pushed, however, and I mean, you can see you've got one player with no shields. Okay, never mind, they're slowly building it back up, but health is being chipped away, shielding is being chipped into, resources are being dived into, so to try to get away here would be the best case, but look at there's 2 other teams right beside them. There are 4 teams here in very, very close proximity, and I would be amazed if any of these teams come away from this completely unscathed. Bearing in mind, we've already lost yet another team, and somehow they've gotten away. The 3 teams that were still there have all turned on each other, and Immortal and Co. have just left. What? Brother!
I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, we saw the news chopper cam over there showcasing how much players in the vicinity, but still somehow managed to go away and get out of it. And it's interesting to note that Immortal and the squad, the last game, they had the greatest loot immediately. They were popping off with eliminations. Not actually doing that right now. Sitting with gray shotguns in inventory as Tats gets taken down from the bridge, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, a lot of brick builds over on that bridge. I Spy now, the last one left alive, and is going to get pushed very heavily. Another player right behind is going to run out with that baseball bat, but again, not the best mobility in game right now. Taken down to 40 HP, will use a splash, heal up just a little bit. It is going to give a speed boost from that gold rush effect, but it is not permanent heals on that splash. You can see the health ticking down slowly back to the 40s. Gets taken down to 20 and eventually gets taken out by Joshi, and that's going to be some more kills feeding into the squad right now, sitting at 12 already, looking to go ahead, get that victory royale, get that extra 25 points for that win, and push their points up even further. And Zany and the rest of the squad, they are long gone. They are by brutal boxcars already.
Yeah, no, they're out of there, bro. And the fact that, like, Invoiced Crib is still alive as well, it's just outrageous. You got that one solo person that's just somehow managed to dodge so much of that fire. I don't know how much longer he'll be for this world. You know, you got 2 teams on either side. Potential there for getting taken out is quite high, but we join a squad over in Lone Wolf Lair, and they're going to be looting up so much, so uncontested. But of course, there the alarm sirens go off. We'll see if any teams are close enough to actually deal with that. But for now, they're going to be able to get some decent loot for themselves. So if anybody does try to contest this, hopefully they'll be in a good position to fight back, as the rest of our teams are busy making their way in towards the zone. They're looking to try to get some safe positioning. And I say the rest of our teams, there are not that many of them left. This has been an absolute bloodbath. And how has Invoice Crib gotten away, bro? He just slipped off into the night. Nobody's chasing him, and he's just going to go find a place to hide somewhere. All good.
I was about to say, Josh and the rest of the squad just walked right past Invoice again.
Right.
And as he's running away, they force another fight over in brutal boxcars. The train now pushing through. Could be free rotation for the defending team. But they are going to go ahead and stick it out. That vault still not taken on the train as well. It does drop some good loot, but no one's going to be able to get it. Hey, maybe Invoice can go ahead and get that train for us. As Sunny building up, trying to spray as well through some edits. Joshi going to go ahead and shield up just a little bit with those minis. We see the mist come out as well, and the mist provides such a good amount of cover as well. Even if you're close range, an opponent pushing into that, you can't really see much. I mean, your eyes start to burn a little bit. It must be pepper spray or something in that mid mist, but using it to heal up right now and take the high ground one more time. And now just playing it slow, trying to spot out, not knowing that the team is directly below them, as we can see on the minimap. Almost playing underneath exactly where they are, and they are going to slowly now break down the roof of the little train station, and so much bullets inside. It's going to make it so difficult to go ahead and find where these guys are. Thermite would prove very, very useful over here, but that team down low going to be just building up, protecting themselves as much as possible. But do you want to be wasting materials like this when you can slip out of the back door and reposition somewhere else? Or do you want to just keep that ground where you're getting beamed at? It's not a good situation for you. There's 5 teams left. You are in the top 5. You got some good points. Maybe back out of there, get a reposition, get some new builds down, and play it out from there.
The funniest part of this is that like Immortal and Co had gotten away. They had slipped away into the night, but they have allowed Sunny and Co to re-aggress in on them, and now they're trying to battle this out, and unfortunately it doesn't look like they're coming out on top. They are getting pushed heavy, hard, and fast. Now only one player left alive, and again, it's just an all-out W key fiesta as they look to try to find him, and I believe it's Immortal that's the one that is still left alive. They're scanning this area, combing it from top to bottom. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Like, if he survives again, I'm actually done. Like, I'm finished. There's no freaking way. He's found himself a little counter to hide behind. Looking to see if anybody can actually find him. Doesn't look like they're going to leave him, though. I think... There we go. There we go. He tries to build his way out of it, but finally gets taken off the board. You know what? It was tactical, right? They let this team get away because they wanted to deal with the other guys first, and then they went back to find him. Now they're going to go look for Invoice Crib. No. It's tactical. Everything was all part of the plan.
Dude, Immortal, but I feel bad for Immortal. Immortal was just sitting there like, hello, welcome to my store. Would you like something? And gets a shotgun to the face, and that's going to take us down to 4 teams, 10 players left alive. And Prince and the rest of the squad now going to go ahead, rotate through in Magic Mosses. And a team over here as well. It's Rockerblade and the rest of the company. But that jump pad is it is going to split you up just a little bit. Rockerblade has that mythic collateral assault rifle in hand and using that baseball bat for a little bit of mobility. Good weaponry on this team all throughout. They even have that pulse scanner for that end games to go ahead and spot out exactly where everyone is. Again, giving you free information. Information is the other thing that is so important towards his end game. And I mean, Crib right now just chilling on the outskirts of the map, and somehow zone pulls closer to Crib than any other player on the north side. That is incredible. The universe is rooting for Crib right now.
Bro's actually just living his best life right now. Like, honestly, everything is going his way. Last player left alive on his squad. Now, the other 3 teams that are in are 3 full squads. So that does keep things a little bit more contestable, as they're just going to run into each other. All 3 of them are so incredibly close. Okay, we got one team, Itoshi and company, attempting to disengage. Meanwhile... Oh no, K&D is getting pushed in on here, and this is a squad that is already, or the squad that's pushing in on them has taken so many lives already in this lobby, and looking to follow that up. They've already found Rockerblade. Now 2 more to find, slowly chipping away through those walls, and again, it's the battle of attrition. Try to get those resources out as quickly as possible. Oh, spotted out through the plantation, so now it's all down to Dex. He's the last one left. He's being chipped away. Down to only 63 HP. Now going to try to be able to heal up a little bit more. There's no way you go for this raise. There's no way, but no. Pushed in onto, and it's yet another little 3-piece to add to the kill count. I'm sorry. Was that like 18 kills already? And there's still 2 more squads left? Just absolutely running away with this lobby.
Okay, so this is the second time now in 2 weeks that we see a solo in the end game. Last week, it would have gone a bit better for our solo if they third-partied a little bit sooner. Crib right now needs to go ahead, wait for that precise moment, not too late like we saw last week, and make sure to third-party this. If a third party can be secured, that's an easy dub for Crib over here. I mean, it's going to be 3v3 against the other 2 teams. So you can go ahead and play positioning very, very well. And again, the zone moves close to Crib one more time. What is happening in this lobby right now? Not even building, just hiding behind a birch tree. Might have gotten spotted over there. Did get spotted. And now is forced to build up. And I mean, when there's 3 opponents rushing at you, it's going to be tough. You actually go into the zone over there. It's a 5-tick storm, and you are going to be bleeding out over there. That kill will go ahead to Jalen Itoshi, and we're down to our top 2 teams now. It is going to be the squad that's been wiping the lobby against the squad that's been trying to do the same. And 18 kills right now on one of these teams. They can go ahead and get a massive lead, as Jaith right now with that organ hand unfortunately gets beamed from up top by a hollow twister assault rifle. Jalen trying to go ahead and maybe do a bit of bull damage over there. I mean, it's also a very precarious situation. You can just break out those builds. If it's not secure enough, try to get someone with 4 damage like we saw in the last game, but bullets flying nonetheless as the Slurp Sprite will go down to go ahead and heal up Breathy as well. You see them up top beaming from the heavens. And this squad just sticking very, very close to each other. They are in the zone, but the high ground is sort of lacking right now. That's the most important thing. That's going to give them a disadvantage, is the fact that Sunny and the rest of the squad have that massive high ground, and they can just beam all that they want. In fact, they are directly above them right now. Weak 4 spraying down Joshi as well. Sunny pushing up very, very close. Collateral assault rifle in hand. That fast rate of fire just beaming through the materials, and that team down low burning through their materials as well. And the high ground still kept, even though some builds are breaking. There's a little bit of damage from Sunny as he forces the reload. You can see them through the metal just panicking down low. Weak 4 now putting pressure on a completely different area. That is a Slurp Sprite that is down over there, healing up in the area down below in that 1x1. And the bullets raining down. You gotta be thinking that team down low is down to at least like 20 or 30 builds left. Meanwhile, Joshi getting that refresh of materials, dropping down low. Baseball Batman has the mist as well. And they are holding out that team on the edge of zone as well. They can move freely because they have that height advantage. Spots out where they are, tries to beam, but the bull's coming out very quickly. Weak 4 trying to crank all the way up, but failing to mantle just a little bit. Manages to find one, hits a shotgun shot on the side of Joshi. That high ground secured, beaming with the Hollow Twister. Weak 4 trying to get up top, gets up top, using that baseball bat for a little bit of height advantage on the jump. That's one down. Joshi and Co now looking very, very strong within this. One more gets knocked. Jaith gets taken out. And a baseball bat confirm over there. Breathy now, last one left alive. Only 48 balls, trying their damnedest to go ahead, but taken down to 18 HP. And the zone also not being kind. And that is going to look like it's wraps. And once again, a little bit of fall damage goes ahead and claims the final kill cam. And that is going to be our victors for the game, Sam. It is going to be Sunny and company taking a victory royale with a whopping amount of kills, pushing their points up to the max.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of done with the full damage victories. We've seen way too many of them over the last few weeks. Like this is not even an uncommon occurrence anymore. But for our winning teams, of course, they're gonna be feeling very good about that one. And I like the way that that was handled as well in those final moments. They set up a really solid, like a triangle formation. And so no matter where that last team was going, they were going to run into somebody. Oh, you're backing away from me. My teammate's up there and he's waiting for you. And the moment you peek out, you're going to be under heavy fire. So they really controlled that space really well. And that ultimately led to another victory. And I mean, it's not even just that. It's the fact that they had control of the lobby from start to finish. It's not like in our previous lobby where we had a team that had been kind of hiding out for a while and was relying almost exclusively on placement points. This was a team that was really putting themselves out there, taking names, adding them to the kill list, and then still going on ahead and finishing up the entire lobby on top of all of the KP. So that's going to be a monstrous amount of points that they're going to be pulling under their belt.
Yeah, that was 21 eliminations over there. Just every single squad they've walked into literally saying, hey, you just made the list. Not the best list that it can possibly be. It's the list of our eliminations, but you just made the list. Don't worry. But Sam, I do believe that we actually have the leaderboard for that game. Do you want to run us through it?
Yeah, well, let's take a look here and see what it looks like. And there you go. That makes a lot more sense. 134 points for SDMI. And I'm just going to confirm because all of our teams use acronyms. That is St. David's Marista Nanda. And to be honest, they were doing quite well in our first week as well. So, I mean, this is definitely not a team to be trifled with. They in fact, this was our team that won our first lobby. That was a different roster for St. David's. They've got a couple of different rosters, makes things a little bit more confusing. But that's Joshy Monkey and Co. So that makes sense, right? You expect them to be doing well given the performance that they had. Following up behind them is Da Anker. We spoke about them a little bit earlier on. They had mad kill points in that previous game. And so they just continue to rake up those points. And coming in third place to Neo. And that was the two Itoshis as well as Junior. And they did very well as well. Got a really strong placement towards the end of that last lobby. So all in all, a lot of good points to come through from this. And I just want to double check something, because with 134 points, that actually puts St. David, that puts them in first place at the moment. Now, that can still change. We still have 2 more days of competition ahead of us. And, of course, Polrus yet to compete this week. But it does push them up very far in the standings. And I think that they're going to be feeling so darn good about it.
I mean, now you just mentioned it also. PRG always have that target on their backs because they play so well. So they are going to be targeted within these next couple of days. Of course, only 2 more days left before we go ahead and end off term 1. Again, term 2 will go ahead and start in late April. So we will see you then when terms start. And if you want to get your school involved, schools.acgl.gg, you can sign up for term number 2. So far within this, we've had 182 schools sign up for ASL this year. And everyone fighting for that Premier Division, in which 32 teams will make it into that Premier Division, but only 1 team per school. And you can see right in front of you in these games, these guys are hungry for it. They want to be in that Premier Division, even if it's going up against their very best friends on the other team as well. And of course, ASL brought to you by Ace and Nitro, making this all possible. But that is all the Fortnite action that we do have for today. We're going to jump into a short intermission and boot up some Rocket League for all of you guys. So if you guys love fast cars, revving engines, and that ball hitting the back of the net, stay tuned, because Sam's going to be taking over with Rocket League as well. So we're going to take that short intermission, and we'll be right back with more ASL action.
My name is Mnoto, and I go to a school called Thomas More College in Hillcrest, Durban. I play Rocket League. Yeah, Rocket League is my favorite game.
Thomas Moore doing it. Mnoto coming off the seating.
We placed 3rd, unfortunately, in the schools league, and today we did not win a single game. I found it amazing. It was very hard, yes, in general, but yeah, that's what comes with competitiveness. No, this is in fact my first time being in person with friends, with teammates, and yeah, it's been an amazing experience. How did we prep? So we prepped by scrimming a lot, a week before our tournament, scrimming all the teams that were going to be here, and we also did just sessions with our coach. Yes. I experienced playing in front of a crowd for the first time, all the nerve, all the pressure on top of you, and how you can really play differently at home and in front of people. Yeah. My highlights was probably meeting all the pros, Snowy, To Die For, Cams, Ram, Mr. Low. Yeah, that was definitely my highlights. My hopes are to stop playing RLCS, maybe make top 8s, and really make a name for myself, so yeah.
We're at Weinberg Boys for the first school event of 2025. We saw a massive increase in participating schools and students in 2024. This year, we're only planning on going up. One of our goals this year is accessibility. And we'll be looking at fine-tuning our LANs to make them more accessible. And also looking at more avenues where we can have underprivileged schools without equipment being able to compete. We also have some really nice educational features coming onto the website. But for now, it's a secret. Like every year, the website has gone through some changes to make it a bit more efficient to play your games. But you'll have a detailed video on that soon. We're excited to be back. I hope you're ready for a new era of school gaming.
Hi, my name is Zander Estreisen.
My naam is Christian.
My name is Richard Andre.
We are from Gauteng, Johannesburg, Hoërskool die Anker.
The games are definitely challenging. We have a lot of different players with different skills. They are very good. Some of them are poor at the game, but it's very challenging. I say it's hard, difficult.
Van hulle was lekker, van hulle was moeilik. Daar was baie kompetisie. Daar was verskillende spelers, van die spelers was baie goed. Ek het dit geniet, dit was lekker.
Yes, it was extremely fun. Very grateful for the opportunity we had. It was very intense and there was certainly a lot of competition, but yeah, it was just amazing. Yes, this is our first LAN experience ever, so we are extremely grateful for the opportunity.
Yes, this is me and my team's first LAN experience ever, and it's quite different, very different. A lot of people around us can hear what they are communicating to their teammates, and it's definitely more pressure than at home. We're comfortable.
Ja, dit is my eerste LAN experience. Dit is baie anderste, baie groter. Ek het dit nie verwag nie. Die mense is nice, almal.
You can feel the environment. I mean, the people are very nice in it, but you can feel it's not the same at home, like on your own setup. Everything just feels like different, but it was good.
Ons het saam in creative geoefen, ons het Zoneworks teen mekaar gespeel. Ek en my span het in 'n trios gaming gegaan. Ons het ons strats uitgewerk en ja.
At home, we play together a lot. Creative mode, public games against other people, just making sure we know what we have to do as a team.
I definitely did do some mentality stuff. I've motivated myself, and that's how I played.
Yes, we definitely gained a lot of experience from this, and next time when we come back, we will be better than ever and hopefully grab that first place trophy.
Ons het baie goeters geleer om saam te speel, nuwe strats, wat waar om te land. Dit was baie lekker. Ons het dit geniet, ja.
Yes, I learned that I doubted my opponents. I thought that I was this guy placing first, but no. Yeah, I learned that I should not be cocky, lower my ego, and definitely train harder, play more. Highlight was definitely coming third place in the nationals and celebrating it at home.
The highlight, I would say, is just meeting a lot of new people and all of the commentators and just having a great time with everyone.
Dat ons derde kon gekom het in die ASL.
My hopes for AGC 25 is to see a lot more people joining the community, to meet new people, and just have a great experience together.
My hopes are coming first place, obviously, and probably training and playing a lot of games with my fellow teammates.
That we can come first.
Thank you all for your support, and thank you to you all that doubted us.
Sterkte, daai kant, almal kan dit doen as julle julle harte in dit sit.
For my school, I would say we tried our best. We were extremely grateful. We were chosen for this opportunity, and we did our best. And next year, we will certainly come back and be on top.
Hey everybody, my name is Nick Holden. I'm the co-founder of ACGL, and we're at AGC, finishing things off today with the Rocket League semi-finals, about to kick off, I believe, before we go into the finals, which is our very, very last match to conclude what has been a crazy, exhausting, wet, and altogether fun tournament. Ooh, that is a tough one, but there's a couple of things. So just being able to see some of the school learners in Rocket League as well as Fortnite, they were so excited to be able to see some of their heroes. That was very exciting, but also for them to be able to show some of their skills. For me, the school stands out because that's always kind of where the heart is in terms of being able to see the next future stars. I gotta say, our graphic designer has been killing it in terms of some of the posters as well. It's been cool to be able to see that. And honestly, this is a cool event just because our team comes together and we don't always get that opportunity. And just being able to be together has been also amazing. So altogether, there's been a lot of stories. I can't really just pick one. So yeah, I think AGC this year for us was just to be able to get things started. It is our first year, and I think one of the things we like to do from our side of ACGL is get moving sometimes too quickly in terms of what we want to be able to achieve. But I think the whole thing of what we want to do with AGC going forward is really have it as the flagship event. And for us, starting that this year was vitally important. We didn't want to postpone, we didn't want to delay. We wanted to get things going so we can also set that expectation for what we want to do next year. So yeah, I think that's a big thing for us moving forward. So when it comes down to putting together our first event, any first event, it doesn't have a precedent to be able to set itself on. So you kind of just have to trust ACGL, and I really just want to thank all of our partners, the sponsors, the spectators, the participants, and everyone involved for just trusting us in terms of this process to be able to get it going. There's players that have traveled from afar. There's sponsors that essentially got in just because they said, well, we said, hey, this is something you should get involved with. And that trust means a lot to us as a company. It means that we've also been living up to some of our previous promises, and we just want to keep on doing that as a company. So just a big thank you to everybody involved, and we can't wait for the next one.
Enjoying the games? ASL has been growing exponentially for the last 2 years. Now, term 1, and just in the high school league, we have 182 different registered schools, 1,123 students all participating. If you want your school, company, or anything featured on the streams, in the articles, drop an email at schools@acgl.gg. This could be the perfect place for your brand to live. But if you're not looking to be involved with the high schools, we still have the primary school and university leagues. So, what are you waiting for? It's time to get involved in esports.
My name is Mnoto, and I go to a school called Thomas More College in Hillcrest, Durban. I play Rocket League. Yeah, Rocket League is my favorite game.
Thomas Moore doing it, and Minoto coming off the seating.
We placed third, unfortunately, in the schools league, and today we did not win a single game. I found it amazing. It was very hard, yes, in general, but yeah, that's what comes with competitiveness. No, this is in fact my first time being in person with friends, with teammates, and yeah, it's been an amazing experience. How did we prep? So we prepped by scrimming a lot, a week before our tournament, scrimming all the teams that were going to be here, and we also did just sessions with our coach. Yes. I experienced playing in front of a crowd for the first time, all the nerve, all the pressure on top of you, and how you can really play differently at home and in front of people. Yeah. My highlights was probably meeting all the pros, Snowy, To Die For, Cams, Ram, Mr. Low. Yeah, that was definitely my highlights. My hopes are to stop playing RLCS, maybe make top 8 and really make a name for myself, so yeah.
at Weinberg Boys for the first school event of 2025. We saw a massive increase in participating schools and students in 2024. This year, we're only planning on going up. One of our goals this year is accessibility. And we'll be looking at fine-tuning our LANs to make them more accessible. And also looking at more avenues where we can have underprivileged schools without equipment being able to compete. We also have some really nice educational features coming onto the website. But for now, it's a secret. Like every year, the website has gone through some changes to make it a bit more efficient to play your games. But you'll have a detailed video on that soon. We're excited to be back. I hope you're ready for a new era of school gaming.
Hi, my name is Sander Estreisen.
My naam is Christian.
My name is Richard André.
We are from Gauteng, Johannesburg, Hoërskool Die Anker.
The games are definitely challenging. We have a lot of different players with different skills. They are very good. Some of them are poor at the game, but it's very challenging. I say it's hard, difficult.
Van hulle was lekker, van hulle was moeilik. Daar was baie kompetisie. Daar was verskillende spelers, van die spelers was baie goed. Ek het dit geniet, dit was lekker.
Yes, it was extremely fun. Very grateful for the opportunity we had. It was very intense and there was certainly a lot of competition, but yeah, it was just amazing. Yes, this is our first LAN experience ever, so we are extremely grateful for the opportunity.
Yes, this is me and my team's first LAN experience ever, and it's quite different, very different. A lot of people around us can hear what they are communicating to the teammates, and it's definitely more pressure than at home. We're comfortable.
Ja, dit is my eerste LAN experience. Dit is baie anderste, baie groter. Ek het dit nie verwag nie. Die mense is nice, almal.
You can feel the environment. I mean, the people are very nice in it, but you can feel it's not the same at home, like on your own setup. Everything just feels like different, but it was good.
Ons het saam in creative geoefen, ons het zone wars teen mekaar gespeel. Ek en my span het in 'n trios gaming gegaan. Ons het ons strats uitgewerk en ja.
At home, we play together a lot. Creative mode, public games against other people, just making sure we know what we have to do as a team.
I definitely did do some mentality stuff. I've motivated myself, and that's how I played.
Yes, we definitely gained a lot of experience from this, and next time when we come back, we will be better than ever and hopefully grab that first place trophy.
Ons het baie goeders geleer om saam te speel, nuwe strats, waar om te land. Dit was baie lekker. Ons het dit geniet, ja.
Yes, I learned that I doubted my opponents. I thought that I was this guy placing first, but no. Yeah, I learned that I should not be cocky, lower my ego, and definitely train harder, play more. Highlight was definitely coming third place in the nationals and celebrating it at home.
The highlight, I would say, is just meeting a lot of new people and all of the commentators and just just having a great time with everyone.
Welcome back once again, everybody, to the ACGL Schools League. We've just wrapped up with Fortnite. Things are looking hot and heavy over there as teams try to get those last-minute placements for the end of term. But now we're going to be jumping into Rocket League. And end of term is correct. This is the very, very last Rocket League broadcast of the term. And by the end of this, we should have our teams that are going up into First Division. I am Nari Mizuki, still going to be one of your casters today, and a relatively fresh face, I feel. Muzz, welcome to the broadcast. How are you doing?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Yeah, feeling good, feeling excited. Maybe a little bit sad it's the end of the seasonal play, since I don't know where all the Rocket League went. It seems to have just disappeared behind us. But yeah, good things do come to an end, right?
Yeah, but thankfully it's the end of the beginning of the end. It's not all over because of course this was just term 1. We will still have more action coming at you as all of these teams continue to battle it out for a spot at the LAN final later on in the year. And remember, if you want to get involved, if you are a school student and you're watching all of this and you think it's absolutely amazing, well, obviously term 1 is over, but there is still time to sign up, get your school involved, and come join us for term number 2. But let's dive into our Rocket League for today because we have 2 very prominent teams. I think this is one of the best possible matchups we could have had to close out this season.
Yeah. I mean, 100% right. Porus Gymnasium, obviously storied high school here within South African Rocket League, and Oosmoed as well, hailing from the north, right? Centurion, also so strong. And this is the Oosmoed Bravo team, as well as Mr. Nolte. Everyone knows him. I've seen him around. Does incredibly well. Rocks up at all the lands with the Yuckles, and both of them very proud and enthusiastic teachers that run both of these respective esports programs. And yeah, definitely it's actually a pity it's only a best of 3, because this clash has so much potential and so much depth to it that, yeah, like it being over so quick and soon, that's a bit disheartening. But yes, best series, definitely.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing how they play against one another. We've had some really, really impressive high-octane Rocket League over the course of this term. So, and of course, the standings have shaped themselves out quite nicely throughout this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the final results are going to be. Some of our other groups have wrapped up, so we do have a bit of an idea of which teams are looking to make their way up into that First Division, but this now for Group 16. We still have to find out which one of these teams is going to make it through. Now, for those of you that don't know, in this group, so obviously we've got Porus and Oosmoed. There is also one of our Kuro schools, and then Grey College. So quite a powerhouse, it feels like. Grey College, relatively new into the school's esports when you compare it with schools like Paul Russ and Oosmoed that have been around for quite some time. And a team like Grey College or a school like Grey College rather, is storied in, regular, I nearly said meat sports, which is the gamer slang version for it. But they're very storied in traditional sports, and they've been looking to try to carry that through here. Unfortunately, they haven't been looking too good so far in this group, but who knows what will happen before the end of this evening's game. But it really is the titans of this group coming up against each other right now. And if I'm not mistaken, Oosmoed actually did really well at the VS high school LAN last year as well. So really like a lot of skill and history behind these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, just all the name drops you can get, right? You got your sponsor Bobus, your Banana Cat, your Pisang Cat, Pisang Cat, it's guys with the same name in different languages on that school and team. But yeah, just everyone's come from these storied schools, and just kind of everyone you've mentioned, right? All the Blades and Teachers and Zinfonos and sponsor Bobuses of South Africa. Yeah, so super kind of skilled and mechanical players we're going to see out here on the field. And also, I hope that they're kind of passing on that knowledge and skill set to younger students and grades in their schools. Your grade 8s and grade 9s and grade 10s also learning now and picking up that skill set and mechanics as well. So yes, good schools, good, decent players, hopefully passing on what they've learned. We've mentioned those teachers and mentors as well that are making sure those esports programs are going to flourish at those respective schools. And yeah, it's all good stuff. And it seems like it's very positive, and it's only growing from strength to strength.
And the really great thing is that, like, there's a pretty solid turnaround time when it comes to high school. So if you look at your actual like esports orgs, right, the ones that are dominating the real adult world of esports, generally your turnaround for players isn't terribly high. When you get a really good player, you want to hold on to them for as long as possible. But high school only lasts so long, and it's very seldom that like your matric team, when I say matric team, a team with matrics in it is going to have like a grade 8 or a grade 10 in it. Very seldom.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't happen, but it'll be seldom. So when your top teams, invariably your matric teams go on to university, find themselves one of the biggest South African esports orgs to join, whatever their path or wherever their path takes them, you then have new grade 8s coming in. You have new players taking up those slots as the top in the school. So this really is that opportunity to show so much of the talent that is constantly coming up through our schools and constantly making its way up the pipeline. And a huge thank you to our production, because yes, I wasn't 100% sure, but I thought so. And yes, Usmut actually took first place at the Comic-Con Africa LAN last year. Incredibly. And I remember I had a chance to chat with their coach at the time as well, one of the teachers involved with the school. So incredibly passionate about esports, about helping the kids develop and grow into their potential. So really cool to see that they continue to perform and do well.
Yeah, 100%. I think we might be ready to go. I think Peach has let us know that definitely the lobby's up here and we can ready to get going. So yeah, if you guys are ready for a best of 3, maybe we should just jump straight into the action.
Absolutely. All right, Paulus versus Usmut, and immediately control of the ball goes over to PRG. Now, there is a bit of contestation here. I'm going to keep it relatively light for the start. You don't want to use up too many of your resources early on. I say that, but look at this already in the goalpost. Already within the first 15 seconds, PRG will score. Usmut under heavy pressure.
Yeah, and those winners from the last Comic-Con as well, as you mentioned, under fire as well. We see that Ender has joined the Polrus Gymnasium. Well, oh, loved. There. Moved to Polrus Gymnasium. I think he was a Kuro student prior to this, and he's obviously understands that the esports program is incredibly strong at Polrus Gymnasium. Ender, the Muslim players join in this PRG outfit, but Usmut need to be able to.
All right. Yeah, sorry, slight technical issues there, but let's jump back into our teams here. And okay, nice. We're keeping that ball away from the goal as much as possible, but unfortunately can't keep it away for long. And literally in the blink of an eye, PRG up to 3-0. Usmut struggling to maintain any of that control. Now they have taken a little bit of control into the enemy half, and they're going to try to get a score in here. No real backup from the rest of the team. No one really to alley-oop that in. And Waffle is doing a great job of keeping that pressure up, stopping that ball from being able to get in towards that goalpost. Already pushes it straight back to the other side of the field. Now Moss managing to maintain that control ever so slightly. Going to need to be backed up by Cappuccino. Moss flies straight past. Oh, and it just bounces off the post there, not landing in. But Waffles is there to try to follow it up, but it's not happening.
Well, already here 3-0, Sam. So, of course, Polrus Gymnasium doing incredible. I hope I'm a little better here, Peach. You'll just let me know. Thank you. And yeah, we can continue. So, Usmut down here by 3. And, of course, opportunities coming here thick and fast for Polrus Gymnasium. There we go. One more add in to their tally right now. And, of course, the best of 3 being so short. And this thumping in game 1 already. It's good.
Well, it's certainly good for PRG. They're feeling so... There's no way. There's no way. Brother, it hasn't been a full 2 minutes yet, and we're already at 5-0.
And of course, you mentioned just kind of the historicalness of these schools, how good they are, where they've gone, what do their accolades look like, and of course, Polrus Gym. Well, they're showing you exactly what those accolades mean to them, and 5 to the good right now. 3 minutes of regulation. PRG dominating, of course, our game 1 here, and Usmut, bravo, need to be able to do something with it. There we go. Finally, Mascos on the scoreboard.
Flipping their way into the scoreboard there. Finally, And we still got a bit of time here to work with. So Usmut have a chance to come back into this. But PRG, again, heavy with that pressure already in towards the goalpost. Moss, however, manages to stop that ball from going in. But Ender, quick to regain the control. Cappuccino will bounce it away. It's a back and forth. The pressure is high. But finally, we'll start getting a little bit of space down the field here. And Usmut took them a moment to wake up. But it looks like they're finally back in this.
Oh, finally back in this, and you need a 4-goal difference right now to be able to catch up. In fact, just to force the overtime before you even come back as well. A bit of a double commit there between Moss and Cappuccino. Can we see what the Waffle Slayer is going to be able to do here as well? Maybe he brings it down to a second man. Oh, maybe Ender was going to be able to slay the dragon on the other end there, but Moss Cast able just to relieve a bit of this pressure here being put down by PRG as well, looking for a second touch. Not able to do anything with it though. It does have extreme ice coming in as that second man though, but again, the defensive rotations, if you are Usmut, you need to be able to get quickly back and make sure you can cover your defense. Of course, this PRG onslaught, we know how dangerous they can be.
And finally, Usmut managing to get themselves back into it, but the problem is that while they are denying goals, they're not scoring. Can they get it done here? No, still not, and that is an issue because there's still a 4-point deficit at the moment that they need to catch up on. That defense is going to be meaningless if they can't find a way back into this round. 1.5 minutes left, not a lot of time to work with, and PRG keeping that pressure up consistently. Usmut now, they are living in their opponent's half, but not managing to find the space that they need. Waffle Slayer's taking control, has moved all the way down the court, dribbling, trying to get in, but it will get stopped at the last moment. However, Schmier is there to bounce back. Cappuccino denying that goal to come through, and just this defense from Usmut is uncrackable, but it's taken so long.
Yeah, they've got the big Spartan soldiers at the back of PRG, right? They're not letting anyone through at the moment, and Usmut not able to do too much as well. I was just checking Ender's stats there as well. He's taken 5 shots and got a hat-trick as well, so you just talk about kind of maybe the stat pad and what PRG are doing here just in game number 1 as well. Clenching our first season here of our ASL Rocket League, and Porous Gym doing incredibly well here in Group 16. Usmut need to maybe do something a lot more clinical and a lot more decisive here come game number 2 as well. And Moscas, we saw put that pressure on a bit earlier, but now things seem to have just subsided a bit there. No pressure really being put down onto this defensive third of PRG. We see a little bit of action. Yeah, it's Extreme Ice trying to kind of bully his way and add a bit of physicality to that onslaught of the OM side. But again, ball already going all the way back here into the PRG hands. Ball comes down. They make it number 6.
That's heartbreaking. Just the level of that defensive line for so very long to try to keep that ball out of goal. But ultimately, PRG will get themselves up to a 6th. And now, with just a few seconds left, it feels like this has become a foregone conclusion. So close to that second goal. But unfortunately, not going to be able to get that through the posts. And there it is. Time ticks down. And that is our first match done and dusted. And look at this control from PRG. I mean, their stats are absolutely unreal.
Yeah, everything going here toward the side of the orange as well. We spoke about Ender there quickly before kind of got cut off as well. He got the 830, kind of outscoring everyone by leaps and bounds here, and just showing the kind of dominance that PRG can put down. Usmut, they need game number 2 yet to do something with this. It's already now match point here for the PRG team here, Sam. And so, yeah, BO3 is a little bit too short for my fancy.
Yeah, honestly, it's very stressful, I think, particularly for our teams. But the good news for Usmut, right? So it took them a while to get back into that first match, but they kept up that pressure so much all the way through. And what that tells me is, yes, that first map, a little bit one-sided, but now that they're in it, now that they've woken up, now that they can show what they're capable of, I think there's every possibility that we head into a 3rd. But before we get there, folks, we have to get through this second one and see if Usmut can, in fact, keep up the pressure, keep up that control, and lead us into a 3rd match.
And we saw the amount of saves that came out from Usmut as well, right? They were just kind of on the back foot in the defensive, segment of the game all the time, right? And they actually obviously made a lot more saves than what we saw from PRG. So, got to be able to turn that defense into good offense at the moment. Cappuccino, oh, there we go. Gets the upper 90, top bins.
Cappuccino capitalizes. Beautiful positioning there. Beautiful shot to come through. And finally, Usmut, for the first time, will take a lead in our series. Now they have to maintain that control, keeping that pressure up. As we mentioned before, they definitely seem to have woken up. As I always said, the first map is a warm-up. We'll see if Usmut can maintain that throughout here. Now PRG putting up the pressure of their own, but Cappuccino has woken up. Unfortunately, it maintains, continues to be a back and forth affair. The ball has made its way into Usmut's half, but can that shot come through? No, Extremis going to be able to take control of that ball and just keep it moving away.
Yeah, and I think we've got Zeston coming on here for POG, so just a nice little sub-rotation as well. You know, the first game went incredibly well. While Usmut, they get in the dunk onto PRG. They're making it too, and so finally finding a bit of, goals themselves.
Yeah, getting a little bit more presence here in this matchup, and that's exactly what we wanted to see from our reigning Comic-Con champ school. Maybe not the same roster, but the school nonetheless. And there's a lot of prestige that comes with just that. And it looks like they are living up to that exact same prestige that we had seen before. But can they keep this up as now Ender continues to put pressure on them, trying to maintain that control. Oh, and the ball's going to flip over. It's going to start heading back over towards PRG's half. Usmut looking for an opening here, but PRG looking just as strong on the defensive line.
Yeah, you love it when kind of just a game goes this way, where game one was a complete blowout and PRG won in such an emphatic fashion. And then, Usmut on the other side now holding them to a 2-0 victory at the moment, with obviously 3 on the clock. And so Usmut able to hold on to the slim lead here. You'd love to see it. They would love to see it as well. He has this pressure being applied on that corner. Schmier, Ender, looking to see if they can drive this ball forward. Yeah, Maskos, I think it was the only scorer from the previous game. They're just upended there by Schmier, with good intentions.
That looked very close to being an own goal, but thankfully just a little bit off to the side, bounces off the poles. Unfortunately, it's still in their half, and Usmut looking to take advantage. Oh, a nice little demo there. Should give PRG the opportunity that they need, and yes, they do start pushing back, but Usmut, a great flip there to deny that ball from continuing on its trajectory, but just as quickly, PRG will regain that control themselves. Constantly just back and forth here, neither one giving any sort of an inch down to the 2-minute mark. And PRG looking to potentially finally get a score. No, Cappuccino once again denying that line.
Yeah, and Ender took a quick opportunity there for Porous Jim to try and get one on the board, but of course getting kept out there as well. So just kind of strong defense here at the back for Usmut. We see those 2 saves. I think there was either coming from Ice or Mars Cast. And of course the 2 shots, 2 goals here registered by Cappuccino, leading from the front, making sure his team can at least try have an attempt at winning this series, of course, the short one that it is as well. Here from the corner, Schmier as well. Extreme Ice is going to wait underfoot. Cappuccino was there ready to disarm the play. And so Mars Cast trying to drive it up that left-hand wall, but Ender is going to be able to block them out. Just a quick kind of retaliations coming out here from POG as well. Though. Double tap doesn't go in. POG's opportunity there.
Oh, it's heartbreak because it bounces off the net and it looks like it might go in. But again, the defensive line from Usmut has just become too strong. Very quickly flip back that control, and now they're looking to try to get a goal in here. Cast fighting off 2 valiantly, but not managing to maintain. The rest of his team staying a little bit further back, waiting for the control to flip over, and it does. And not only that, but Ender will score a goal for PRG. And now PRG, with just under a minute left, have plenty of time to bring themselves back into their winning ways.
Well, there it is. The lad that gave us 8:30 in game number 1 finally, in the dying moments, gets a goal here for PRG. They're still down by 1, of course, and so they need to be able to pick themselves up very quickly and take a shot. Okay, Ender, thank you for coming. Makes it 2. There's the equalizer.
Okay, that came a little bit out of left field there, and Usmut perhaps floundering and a little bit shocked. I mean, I certainly would be, given how back and forth the first 4.5 minutes have been, and now suddenly for PRG to have taken such a strong position. Usmut now, Cappuccino racing down, but unfortunately just a little too far to the right, and no one there to follow it up, but they maintain that control. They're looking to push it in. The ball bounces on, but no, it gets bounced back. A demo, but that's not going to stop any of these players just yet. Ball control still heavily for Usmut, but it's been handed back over to PRG, and Schmier is going to fly it back across the board, but gets intercepted. So this ball is not making the space that it needs with just 2 seconds left. Now time is down. Overtime on the clock at a 2-2 scoreline. Who will be the ones to get that next goal?
Yeah, and this is now where you sit at the edge of your seats, right? The golden goal is going to come from this here. One of these sides ends up getting the dub. And of course, Usmut would like to force a game 3 out of this, so they definitely want to get that goal. But Cappuccino, nice little catch there, is going to find Maskos on the other side as well. Bit of a slow play coming at you from Usmut. They get past one. Schmier at the back. Going to be able to deal with that one. Pop out to Ender. Ender's going to have to scuttle back, though. They did have Zeston. Zeston will be able to catch it. Picks up his 100 canister as well. Bit of a whiff there, possibly. Ender, shot. Can he get past 2? Oh, that was close, but Extreme Ice with the save.
All right, well, we're still sitting in that half, and PRG still putting on that pressure, not allowing too much space to be given over. Schmier passes it on to Zest, doesn't go in, back to Schmier, and into the goal. A beautiful little relay there between the 3 of them, but it will be PRG taking that last map. 3-2. So unbelievably close. It felt like Usmut was in with a shot. They had a chance, but at the final finish line there, PRG to snap back.
Oh, I mean, they should have had that opportunity, right? You know, you in this golden goal opportunity, you need to get the one shot off. And of course, Schmier, well, he took that full opportunity there to clinch it out here for Porous Gymnasium. And yeah, good for Usmut to come back after, I suppose, a devastating game number 1 there. What did you go down? 4-1. And now it was 2-3. In fact, you were 2-0 up until Ender showed up. And Ender took 4 shots, took 2 goals. Didn't have to make a darn save at all. And yeah, Porous Gym. Something in Stellenbosch. I don't know, these players, they are very, very good out that way.
Something in the water at Porous. I don't know what, very specifically Porous, because these guys just consistently at the top of their game and in numerous titles. But that is where we finish up with Rocket League and the overall broadcast for the day. Now, before I send you off, I did say that I might have a little bit of an update for you. And for Group 16, of course, Porous will be going through in first position with a 6-0 scoreline for Term 1. What a performance out of them. And they will be followed up very closely by Usmut sitting at 4-3. And unfortunately, our Curo School and Grey College not up to snuff in this particular bracket. It was a difficult bracket. You got a team like you got both PRG and Usmut in here. You know that you're going to struggle. So valiant efforts all around, but GG's to our teams that will be going through into the first division. Hopefully we'll hint ACGL, hopefully we'll have an announcement, you know, out on the socials at some point. I am throwing ACGL under the bus here, but hopefully we'll get that up for you guys so that you can see who has made it into that top 32. Before we close off, Muzz, any last remarks from you on our game for the day?
Yeah, I mean, you know, basically you're saying that group 16 was the group of death, right? You know, for Cura, Brackenfell and Grey College. I mean, they unfortunately had to, as you mentioned, take on Usmut and Porous Gym. Yeah, it was going to be a fight for third place because, yeah, these two were going to take it. A VS Gaming LAN winner, and then, of course, Porous Gym on the other side there. It just, yeah, unfortunately, Group 16, a bit too tough. Sometimes that's how the cards are going to fall on the table. And, yeah, you just had to kind of put your best performance up on the day. Yeah, well done to Porous Gym, doing exactly what we knew they could do. They're very close to Usmut. They're going to come back, as you mentioned. Wasn't the same roster that took that LAN victory, but they learn it and they're passing on information among themselves. But yes, so well done, Porous Gym.
Yes. Absolutely. So that's going to be us rounding it up. So a little bit of housekeeping before we do that. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember that we will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. We're going to have Fortnite and we're going to have some Valorant for those of you that enjoy that particular game. I know I do. So very much looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll see you there. Thank you everybody for hanging out, for watching the stream, for cheering on your school or your favorite school or your kids. I've seen some parents chilling in the chat from time to time. Love to see that. So thank you everybody. Thank you to ACGL in partnership with Ace and Nitro for making this all possible. 182 schools, a record-breaking number coming into year number 4. Thank you to production. Thank you to everybody involved, and we will see you tomorrow for our second last broadcast of Term 1.